Maya stood in the doorway of the corner office, water dripping from her soaked clothes onto the expensive carpet. Her heart pounded so hard she thought it might burst right out of her chest. The man behind the desk looked up from his papers, and time seemed to freeze. It was him, the stranger from the street, the man she had given her umbrella to just 30 minutes ago. "Maya," he said slowly, his eyes wide with recognition. "Maya Chen!" This couldn't be happening. The CEO of Sterling Marketing Group was Robert, the same Robert who had asked her for help in the pouring rain. Maya felt her cheeks burn red. Her carefully planned interview was falling apart before it even started. She looked like a drowned cat standing in front of the most important person in the company, and he knew exactly why. But let me tell you how this impossible moment came to be. Just that morning, Maya had woken up with butterflies dancing in her stomach. Today was the day. After 6 long months of job hunting, 6 months of hearing, "We'll be in touch," and then never hearing anything again, she finally had a real chance. Her savings account had exactly $47 left. Her rent was due in 5 days. If she didn't get this job at Sterling Marketing Group, she might have to move back in with her parents in Ohio. The thought made her stomach twist with worry. Maya had studied everything about Sterling Marketing Group. She knew they helped small family businesses grow and succeed. She knew their mission statement by heart. She had practiced her answers in the bathroom mirror every single morning for 2 weeks. "You can do this, Maya," she whispered to herself as she put on her best blazer. It was navy blue and slightly worn at the elbows, but it was professional. "You belong here." She grabbed her portfolio and her little red umbrella, the cheap one that she had bought at the corner store when she first moved to the city. Then she headed out into what looked like a perfectly normal Tuesday morning. The sky was gray, but Maya barely noticed. She was too busy going over her interview answers in her head. Why do you want to work here? What are your strengths? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? She walked quickly down the busy sidewalk, dodging other people and street vendors. 20 minutes until her interview. She was going to be perfectly on time. That's when the first raindrop hit her nose. Maya looked up at the dark clouds that seemed to appear out of nowhere. They looked angry, like they were planning something terrible. "No, no, no," she whispered. "Not today. Please not today." But the rain didn't care about Maya's interview or her carefully styled hair or her one good blazer. Within seconds, it went from a few drops to a steady drizzle, then to a complete downpour. Maya ran toward a small coffee shop, her heels clicking on the wet concrete. Other people were running too, all of them trying to find somewhere dry to wait out the storm. She had almost reached the coffee shop door when she heard a voice behind her. "Excuse me, miss." Maya turned around, and there was an older man standing in the middle of the sidewalk. Rain was pouring down on his silver hair, soaking through his simple gray suit. He looked to be in his 60s, with kind eyes that reminded Maya of her grandfather. "I'm sorry to bother you," he called out over the sound of the rain, "but I'm supposed to meet my daughter at the library, and I forgot my umbrella. I don't suppose you have one I could borrow." Maya looked down at the little red umbrella in her hand. Then she looked at the man, getting more soaked by the second. Then she thought about her interview. If she gave him her umbrella, she would have to walk 4 more blocks in this pouring rain. She would show up to the most important interview of her life looking like she had jumped into a swimming pool. But then the man smiled, and Maya saw something in his face that made her heart hurt in a good way. He looked worried about his daughter. He looked like someone who cared about other people more than himself. Maya's grandfather had always told her that helping others was more important than helping yourself, even when it cost you something. "Here," Maya said, holding out her umbrella without another thought. "Take it." The man's eyes went wide. "Oh no, I couldn't take your umbrella. You'll get completely soaked." "It's okay," Maya said, and she meant it. "The library is only 2 blocks away, right? I'm going the other direction anyway." That wasn't exactly true, but something about this man made her want to help. Maybe it was the way he talked about his daughter, or maybe it was just the right thing to do. "Are you absolutely sure?" the man asked, but Maya could see he was already reaching for the umbrella. "Completely sure," Maya replied with a smile. "Just promise me you'll stay dry." The man took the umbrella and opened it above his head. His whole face lit up with relief and gratitude. He said, "Thank you so much. You have no idea how much this means to me. My daughter gets worried when I'm late, and she's been having a really tough time lately. This helps more than you know." "No problem at all," Maya said, even though the rain was already soaking through her blazer. "I hope your daughter is okay." "She will be," the man said with confidence. "People like you remind me that there's still real kindness in this world. What's your name?" Maya Chen." "Well, Maya Chen, I'm Robert, and I will never forget this kindness." He nodded his head like an old-fashioned gentleman, "And I hope wonderful things come your way." Robert walked away under Maya's little red umbrella, disappearing into the crowd of people trying to stay dry. Maya stood there for a moment, rain soaking through her clothes and into her skin. Her carefully styled hair was getting flatter by the second. She probably looked terrible, but somehow she felt amazing. Really, truly amazing. She pulled out her phone, trying to protect it from the rain with her hand. 15 minutes until her interview. She could still make it if she ran. Maya took off down the sidewalk, splashing through puddles in her black heels. Her portfolio was getting wet despite her best efforts to cover it. Her makeup was probably running down her face. This was definitely not how she had planned to show up to the most important interview of her life.
But she couldn't stop thinking about Robert's smile when she gave him the umbrella. She couldn't stop thinking about how good it felt to help someone, even when it cost her something. By the time Maya reached the tall glass building that housed Sterling Marketing Group, she was completely soaked. Water dripped from her hair onto the shiny marble floor of the lobby. She looked like she had been swimming in her clothes. The security guard looked at her with kind eyes. "Rough day to be caught without an umbrella," he said gently. "You could say that," Maya replied, trying to laugh about it even though she felt nervous. "I'm here for an interview with Sterling Marketing Group on the 15th floor." "Good luck," the guard said as he handed her a visitor's badge. "I'm sure they'll understand about the weather." Maya rode the elevator up, using the mirrored walls to try to fix her appearance. Her mascara had smudged a little, but it wasn't too bad. Her hair was a lost cause, but maybe she could make a joke about it. Everyone would understand, right? The elevator doors opened to reveal a beautiful modern office with glass conference rooms and people working at clean white desks. A young woman with a clipboard was waiting for her. "Maya Chen?" the woman asked with a professional smile. "That's me," Maya said, trying to sound confident even though she felt like a wet mess. "I'm Jennifer, Mr. Sterling's assistant. He's ready to see you now." Jennifer's smile faltered a little when she saw Maya's soaked appearance. "Oh my goodness, are you okay? You look like you got caught in quite a storm." "I did," Maya admitted, "but I'm fine, just a little wet." Jennifer's smile returned, warmer this time. "Well, Mr. Sterling will definitely appreciate that you made it here despite the weather. That shows real dedication. Follow me." They walked through the office, past employees typing on computers and having quiet conversations. Maya tried not to drip too much on the carpet, but it was hopeless. She could feel people looking at her, probably wondering why there was a soaking wet woman walking through their nice, dry office. Jennifer stopped at a corner office with huge windows that looked out over the city. Through the glass door, Maya could see a man sitting behind a large wooden desk reading some papers. Jennifer knocked softly. "Come in," came a voice from inside the office. Jennifer opened the door with a smile. "Mr. Sterling, this is Maya Chen, here for the marketing coordinator interview." The man behind the desk looked up from his papers, and Maya's entire world turned upside down. It was Robert, the man from the street, the man she had given her umbrella to, the man who was supposed to be at the library with his daughter. Robert's eyes went wide when he saw her standing there, dripping wet in his office doorway. For a long moment, neither of them said a single word. Maya felt her face turn bright red. This could not be happening. This could not be real. The CEO of Sterling Marketing Group was the stranger she had helped in the rain. Robert said slowly, standing up from his chair like he couldn't quite believe what he was seeing. "Maya Chen!" Maya managed to whisper, her voice barely working. Jennifer looked back and forth between them, clearly confused. "Do you two know each other?" Robert smiled, the same kind smile Maya remembered from the sidewalk. "We met very briefly today, under some pretty unusual circumstances." He looked at Maya's wet clothes and seemed to understand everything. "Jennifer, could you please get Miss Chen a towel and some hot coffee? She's had quite a journey getting here." "Of course," Jennifer said, though she still looked puzzled. She left the office, closing the door behind her. Maya stood there, dripping and embarrassed, with no idea what to say. This was definitely not how job interviews were supposed to go. "Please sit down," Robert said gently, pointing to the comfortable chair across from his desk. "And don't worry about getting the chair wet. It's just furniture." Maya sat down carefully, still trying to process what was happening. "Mr. Sterling, I can explain." "There's nothing to explain," Robert interrupted, and his voice was warm and understanding. "You gave a complete stranger your umbrella during a storm. You showed kindness to someone you didn't know, even though it meant you would get soaked. That tells me everything I need to know about who you really are." Maya felt tears starting to form in her eyes, although she wasn't sure if they were from relief, embarrassment, or pure shock. "I just wanted to help," she said quietly. "And you did help," Robert replied, settling back into his chair. "More than you could possibly know. I made it to the library on time, and my daughter wasn't worried about me. That meant everything to both of us." Jennifer came back with a fluffy white towel and a steaming cup of coffee. Maya accepted both gratefully, using the towel to dry her hair and wrapping her hands around the warm mug. "Now then," Robert said with a businesslike smile, "let's talk about why you want to work at Sterling Marketing Group." For the next hour, Maya forgot all about being wet and cold and embarrassed. She talked about her passion for helping small businesses succeed. She shared her ideas for social media campaigns that would really connect with people. She talked about her dream of making a real difference in her community, of helping families build something that would last. Robert listened to every word, asking thoughtful questions and nodding encouragingly. Maya found herself relaxing for the first time all day. Robert wasn't scary like she had expected a CEO to be. He was just Robert, the kind man who cared about his daughter and appreciated simple acts of kindness. "You know something interesting," Robert said as the interview started to wind down. "We've been looking for someone who truly understands that business is really about people. It's about building genuine relationships and actually caring about others. A lot of candidates come in here with impressive resumes and big talk about strategy and profit margins, but they forget the most important part." Maya nodded eagerly. "The human part." "Exactly," Robert said, his eyes lighting up with excitement. "And today, you proved that you understand what that really means. You helped a stranger because it was simply the right thing to do, even though it cost you something important." Maya felt her heart beating faster. Was this going well? It was impossible to tell. "I have one more question for you," Robert said, leaning forward slightly. "If you could change one thing about how businesses treat their customers, what would it be?" Maya thought for a moment, then spoke straight from her heart. "I would want every business to remember that their customers are real people with real problems and real dreams. When you help someone find the right product or service, you're not just making a sale, you're helping them solve a problem or reach a goal that actually matters to them. You're making their life a little bit better." Robert's smile grew so wide that Maya thought his face might split in half. That is exactly what I was hoping you would say.
They talked for a few more minutes about the job responsibilities and what it was like to work at Sterling Marketing Group. Maya learned that the company offered flexible schedules, opportunities to learn new skills, and even paid time for employees to volunteer in the community. We believe that people who genuinely care about others make the very best employees, Robert explained. They understand what really motivates customers and how to build relationships that last for years. As the interview came to an end, Robert stood up and extended his hand with a firm handshake. Maya, I want to offer you the position. Maya nearly dropped her coffee cup. Her hands started shaking. Really? Just like that? Just like that, Robert confirmed with absolute certainty. I've been in business for 30 years, and I've learned to trust my instincts about people. Your resume is impressive, but more importantly, your character is exactly what we're looking for. You're exactly who we need. Maya felt tears of pure joy filling her eyes. Thank you, Mr. Sterling. You have absolutely no idea what this means to me. Please, call me Robert, he said with the warmest smile Maya had ever seen. And I think I have a pretty good idea. We all need opportunities to show what we can really do. As Maya gathered her wet portfolio and purse to leave, Robert walked her to the door. Oh, there's one more thing, he said with a mysterious smile. I believe this belongs to you. He handed her the little red umbrella. You kept it? Maya asked, completely surprised. I was really hoping I'd get the chance to return it to you, Robert said with a chuckle, though I have to admit I never expected it to happen quite like this. Maya laughed, feeling lighter and happier than she had felt in months. Life has a funny way of surprising us, doesn't it? That it certainly does, Robert agreed. Maya, I want you to know that what you did today, giving me your umbrella when you needed it yourself, it reminded me exactly why I started this company in the first place. It's about people helping people. It's about kindness in community and doing the right thing even when nobody's watching. As Maya rode the elevator down to the lobby, she couldn't stop smiling. The rain had completely stopped and bright sunshine was beginning to peek through the clouds outside. She looked at her reflection in the elevator doors and started laughing. Her hair was still a complete mess, her clothes were wrinkled from being soaked, but she had never felt more beautiful or more grateful. Outside on the sidewalk, Maya opened her little red umbrella even though the sun was now shining brightly. She wanted to remember this feeling, this moment when a simple act of kindness had changed absolutely everything. Her phone buzzed with a text from her mom. How did the interview go, sweetheart? I've been thinking about you all day. Maya typed back with shaking hands, Mom, I got the job. I'll call you tonight and tell you the whole incredible story. You are not going to believe what happened. As she walked home through the sunshine, Maya thought about what her grandfather used to tell her when she was little. When you help others, sweetheart, you help yourself in ways you can't even imagine. She had given away her umbrella that morning, expecting absolutely nothing in return, but she had received so much more than just a job. She had been reminded that kindness really does matter, that people are fundamentally good, and that sometimes the universe has the most beautiful way of bringing exactly the right people together at exactly the perfect moment. 6 months later, Maya was absolutely thriving in her role at Sterling Marketing Group. She had helped launch successful campaigns for a family bakery that had been struggling, a local bookstore that wanted to reach younger readers, and a children's tutoring center that needed more families to know about their services. Each project felt meaningful and important because Maya knew she was helping real people achieve their dreams. Robert had become not just her boss, but a true mentor and friend. He often told new employees the story of how Maya got hired, using it as a perfect example of the company's values in action. Business is about so much more than just making profit, he would tell them. It's about recognizing the humanity in every single person we meet and treating people with genuine kindness and respect. Maya understood that before she even walked through our doors. Maya kept the little red umbrella on her desk as a daily reminder of that rainy Tuesday morning that changed her entire life.
Whenever she was having a particularly tough day, she would look at it and remember that sometimes the smallest acts of kindness can lead to the biggest, most wonderful changes. And whenever it rained, Maya always made sure to carry an extra umbrella in her bag just in case she met someone who needed it more than she did. Because Maya had learned the most important lesson of all, that in giving, we receive so much more than we could ever imagine. In helping others, we help ourselves in ways we never expected. And sometimes, when we least expect it, when we're just trying to do the right thing, a simple moment of kindness can open doors we never even knew existed. The little red umbrella had brought Maya so much more than just a job. It had brought her a completely new understanding of what really matters in life, a career that felt meaningful and important, and the absolute knowledge that good things really do come to those who choose kindness over convenience, even when it's difficult. As Maya often told people who heard her incredible story, "I thought I was just helping a stranger stay dry in the rain. I had absolutely no idea that I was changing the entire course of my life forever."